Good morning, and welcome back to another live here with me, Asia Nasir, founder of Jessica Cares, a nonprofit organization that works to empower teen girls to help them, fulfill and live their best life, to see themselves for who they really are, their self-worth, and continue to build on their self-esteem. So that way, not only will the thoughts that they have about themselves will manifest into their behaviors and their habits, which eventually becomes their destiny. So that is what I do, each and every day through our nonprofit organization. And I am your host of Wake Up Wednesday. So welcome back to another live where every other Wednesday I come on here to talk about things that I think are just extremely important in the life of empowering teens and young women. Today is going to be no different. We a lot of times when we are trying to become our best selves, trying to become the best versions of ourselves, a lot of times we sometimes miss the mark, and we're like, oh my God, another year went by, another 6 months went by, and it's like, what happened? All of those things that I had mentioned, that I was going to do, that New Year's resolution, all of those different things that we just kind of like, what happened? How did I miss the mark? And so, with us kind of tapering into the last months of this year. Can you believe that? We literally only have about 4 more months before this year is over. We have about 4 more months before this year is over. And so it's really important that we start reflecting now, like, am I on target? Have I accomplished the things that I said I was going to do in 2025? And if the answer is no, today is going to be a topic that I think is going to be extremely, extremely beneficial to you in being able to kind of get back on track and, to put yourself back in focus and in the zone for the dreams and things that you want to accomplish. So today we're going to be talking about your life, your choices, and avoiding the pitfalls that derail your dreams. So I think that, it happens to each and every one of us. At some point in time, we made a choice to do something, and for whatever reason, we fell into that pitfall of, um, not fulfilling our dreams, not doing what we said we were going to do, not holding integrity, with ourselves. So today I'm going to be sharing three powerful strategies to help you to, just kind of hit that reset button and to get back in the game for something that is important to you, maybe to your family, may even be for your legacy with your children and so forth. So it's really important. It's really important that we get back on track with the things that we say we're going to do. So I'm going to get ready right into it, talk about, what strategies we have to help us, not fall into that pitfall of, derailing our own dreams, right? So, strategy number one that I want to share with you is, and this is really, really important, and this is something that we hear about all the time. We hear it. We hear it all the time. We hear our parents tell us, the Bible tells us, the Quran tells us, these different things. But it's extremely important that we understand that guarding your circle is extremely important. Guarding your circle, meaning your friends, the people that you associate with, the people that you hang out with, the people that you choose to take up your time, right? Guard your circle, because let me tell you, everybody can't go with you. Everybody can't go with you. And the reason why I say that is because I loved he's passed on. He's transitioned, but loved his music. When you really listen to a lot of his words, it was very inspirational, very educational. And that was the late Nipsey Hussle. And in his song Victory Lap, he actually said that. He was like, as he continued to elevate, he put it out there. He said, everybody can't go. And that's the truth. Some people, it's not that you're leaving them behind or that you're abandoning them or whatever. It's just that some people are not meant to be in your life for every journey, every space that you find yourself in your life. As you continue to work on your dreams, fulfill your dreams, and do that and stay focused. Some people are just, they were there for a season. And some people are there forever. And you have to be able to recognize the people that are there for the long haul. Some people are just there for the season that you're in. And once you elevate from that, that is where you kind of put a period on it. And as I always say, it doesn't mean that it may be a period forever. It may be a comma. And that person, as they continue to elevate, hopefully in their life, at some point, maybe you can reconnect and reunite in your friendship. But sometimes you have to understand that everybody just can't go with you, because they're going to derail you, because they're not ready to elevate. They're not ready to step up and do the things that they need to do within their own life. They become actually toxic for you and dysfunctional for you. And we'll talk about how that looks. But guarding your circle, what that means is surrounding yourself with people that are actually going to uplift you, keep you like, because when you chasing your dreams, when you are trying to do the things that you need to do to make your dreams come true, I mean, there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, forget this. I don't want to do this anymore. This is a lot of work. The personal development that comes, the discipline that comes with trying to fulfill your dreams. Let me tell you something. You're going to be there. There's going to be moments where you're going to need that upliftment. You're going to need someone that's going to continue to encourage you, remind you of why you're doing this. You need someone who's going to challenge you, encourage you to step outside your comfort zone. That's the type of people you need. People that's not going to be okay with you, just fulfilling and being mediocre. People who see your potential and actually challenge you. Like, why are you not, doing that? You're talking about this job. You're talking about this new business you want to start. Like, why haven't you started it? You know what I mean? Challenging you to actually step up. And more importantly, we need those people in our lives that are going to hold us accountable. That's the type of friends I want. I want friends that are going to hold me accountable, where it's like, girl, you're slipping. You're slipping. What's going on with you? So what do we need to do to get back on track? And trust me when I tell you, I got a couple of those that really, they know me. They know my patterns. They can actually see me and go, what's going on with you? What's been happening with you? I've noticed you're not doing this anymore. I noticed you're not doing that anymore. What's happening to you? So I have friends that actually know me and they hold me accountable. Well, you said, and you said you wanted to accomplish this, and that's not happening, right? So, they hold me accountable. That's the kind of friends that you want, that are going to uplift you, that's going to challenge you. And then thirdly, and more importantly, they're going to hold you accountable, because it's only one or the other. You're either going to have those that are going to support you, or you're going to have people around you, and surround yourself with people that are going to derail you from that. Quick story, my daughter in high school, she had a friend, or someone that she thought was a friend. And I told her for years, I said, that girl is not your friend. Girl is not your friend. She knows every time, just I would hear, just conversations, and I would hear how she would respond to my daughter. Anytime my daughter wanted to talk about her dreams and wanting to do something, she was not her cheerleader. She was not happy for her. She would change the subject, and then as my daughter got older, she said every time she told this friend that she wanted to do something or start doing something to move into that direction, she invited her to this party. She invited her to places that was not supporting where my daughter was trying to go. And eventually my daughter caught on. So that becomes someone who drains you. They drain you because they're constantly pulling you in a direction where your body and your mind and your soul is saying, I don't want to go there. That's not where I'm trying to go. That's not what I'm trying to be. And that person will continue to pull you in that direction. And that can become a severe internal and external, in some cases, tug of war. And it's draining. And it's extremely toxic, because people like that will manipulate situations. They will create situations to derail you, sabotage what you're trying to do, because they're really not there for your benefit. Your best interest is not what they have at heart. They want to have a partner in crime, so to speak, to continue to live the mediocre life that they want to live, or sometimes very dysfunctional life that they want to live. So when you're guarding your circle, you really have to look at people that you want to choose connection with, people that you are aligned with mentally, spiritually, professionally, right? People who you are in line with. So focus on real connection versus convenience. Well, I've been knowing this person for a long time. We've been cool for a long time. Yeah, but maybe God is trying to tell you there needs to be a pause, a period now. because that person is showing you, which they always do. People will reveal who they really are. And my mom used to tell me all the time, and she still says it, time is your best friend. Time will let you know everything you need to know about a person. And sometimes people change and your directions are going, you're going here and that other person is going there. And you got to accept that that's where it is in order for you not to derail from your dream. Because as I started on the onset, your dreams and keeping integrity with that, it holds to your purpose. What are you here for? What are you trying to accomplish? What is it that you're trying to leave with people long after you're gone? What are people going to say, about you as a person? What impact did you make on their life? Even if you wasn't intentionally trying to, how you live your life, you are going to either inspire someone to be better, do better, become better, just because you did, just because you lived your life the way that you intended for you to live your life, the dreams and the things, the sacrifices that you made in your journey, that is going to inspire someone else. So just want to, that's how important your surroundings are in guarding who the people that you associate with is going to make a real difference in either they're pushing you towards your dreams or they're derailing you from your dreams. So be very selective and make the hard choices sometimes to start distancing yourself from people that are going to keep you from what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So it's hard, but it's well worth it once you do make that decision and you start doing that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the third strategy. So the second strategy in, avoiding the pitfalls of, derailing in your dream is stop mistaking short-term, satisfaction, or I would say stop exchanging short-term satisfaction for long-term fulfillment. And a lot of us do it, especially in the society that we live in. Like I call it the microwave generation. Everything is quick. Everything is, it comes fast, just at the touch of a button. Well, that works with technology. It sure does. Technology, microwaves, TVs, DVDs, everything is just a click of a button. It's literally a click of a button, but life, real life, and anything that's worth having in your life, it's not a click of a button. It takes work, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a career, whether it's your entrepreneurial pursuits, your business, everything is going to take time. There is no quick fix. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us exchange long-term fulfillment, the things that we want to accomplish in our dreams, for something for that quick satisfaction. So that could be fast money. You have a goal that you want to start your business, you want to do this, you want to move up in your career, and something quick comes, some fast money, and you'll give up the path that you're on for something quick that's going to be short. You're going to get it, but it's not going to last, and it's not getting you anywhere closer to your dreams. So fast money, quick validation. Everybody wants that validation. So, you haven't done the due diligence to build anything, but you're posting up, you're posting up ops and things on social media because it look good. You're posting up all these photos and you're getting your face done and you're doing all this kind of stuff, but you haven't done the work to actually fulfill what it is that you're talking about. But to get that validation, to sit up here and have people likes and all of that stuff, to get the attention, sometimes we will exchange that quick fix, that quick satisfaction, for the long-term fulfillment that requires a little bit of work. And as I mentioned, I always tell my girls when I work with them in our personal development journey, right? Because it is a journey. And that's why Jessica, in the acronyms that you see in Jessica Cares, starts for journey, right? Journey is something that it's not a quick fix. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that is, your life is not going, your dreams are not going to happen overnight. Change, empowerment, evolving, right? Ascension. None of those things are going to happen overnight. That's going to take some work. And I always like it, and I tell them it's like the three pigs. You could be the person that wanted to build a house of straw and sticks, and you see that didn't last. But the one that sat up there and took their time, that little pig that took their time, and he built literally brick by brick. When the test came, when someone tried to derail that house, when someone wanted to knock it down, it was solid. It was standing. It was standing. You know what I'm saying? It was standing on as the kids say, it was standing on business. That house was standing on business because he took the time to build the foundation and to build something strong so that nothing, no matter what test came, it wasn't going anywhere. That's what we have to sit up here and say, you know what? Yeah, I could get that quick money right now, or I could sit up here and I can do this, but I'd rather put in the time and the work to have something that's going to last longevity, generational wealth, building something that's going to last beyond me. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really important that we do that. So, the quick feel good, which, social media has a way, it's very addictive. Some people are addicted to that quick feel good that you get, but that quick feel good can cost you your future peace, because I know some people now in their 50s and 60s saying woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. That piece is not there because they don't have the time to put it in like they did when they were younger. Wondering what their life would have been like had they just put in the time, and put in the work to be able to get where they want to go. Now that they're older and they're saying, you know what, I want to retire. I want to, kind of kick back and have some peace and relaxation. Well, I didn't put in the work. I didn't do the due diligence. So now I can't do that. Right? So that quick feel good can cost you your future peace. It can cost you your future purpose and the integrity for yourself. When you look at who you are and you start looking at your life and reflecting on your life, what did I stand for? What did I stand for? What does my character say about me? The integrity, the promise that I made to myself. Did I hold my promise to myself? Did I hold true to myself? And if you don't hold integrity within yourself, you sure can't hold somebody else to sit up here and want that for you, and do it for you. You have to have that integrity for yourself. So make decisions with your future self in mind, not for the current emotion or current thing that you need right now. That's not what you need. Thank you, Adrian. I'm so welcome to Wake Up Wednesday. Welcome. So it's extremely important that you make decisions for your future self. And sometimes that means not hanging out. Sometimes that means, I can't watch that show, or that may mean that I can't hang out with my friends this weekend, or whatever it might be. Sometimes you got to make that sacrifice for the short term, for the benefit of the long term. You know what I'm saying? And you got to check your emotions, because your emotions will derail you every time, because you want that quick fix. And especially with a society that we live in today where everybody wants something like that, you got to be disciplined and being able to say, oh, I understand what's going on here, but I'm going to choose the opposite, even if it feels uncomfortable, because later on, I'm going to benefit. I'm going to benefit from it. You see what I'm saying? So last strategy that I want to share with you is know your non-negotiables. Know your non-negotiables. And that is so important. And this really has to do with self-awareness. Establish your values. What are your values? What do you value? And establish your boundaries. Because your boundaries, this is what's going to serve as your internal GPS. This is going to serve as your internal GPS. This is going to let you know, look, I don't need to be doing that because it's not leading me here. It's not inching me closer to here. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be spiritual goals, personal goals, or professional goals, or even fitness goals, your health, or whatever it might be. If you don't establish your boundaries and what this is, I go here, but I don't go past here. This is where now, when you establish your values and you establish your boundaries, this is where strategy number one, when I was talking about guard your circle, that becomes easier. That becomes much easier for you, because if they don't align with your values, then this is not somebody I want to have in my circle. If this is someone that keeps, pushing me to go against my boundaries, then I know this is someone who doesn't value me as an individual, as a person. And the friend title, that person hasn't earned that. That person hasn't earned that, right? So choose, establish, I should say, establish your values and your boundaries, so that way you will always have that internal GPS that sometimes you might be going in a way and you know you need to make a detour to get back on track, to get closer to your dream, so that way you don't sabotage and fall into a pitfall. You know, have yourself as a pitfall that's going to derail you from your dreams, you know? And you hear what people say all the time. If you don't stand for something, you what? You fall for anything. And that's the truth. If you don't have a value system and you don't have your boundaries and your non-negotiables, you're going left, right, north, south, east, and west all at the same time. And none of them leading you to where it is that you want to be. None of them allowing you to become the person that you were created to be. You know, you take yourself off of that path. You take yourself off of that when you don't hold to something and stand 10 toes on your non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables have to be just that. It's not up for discussion. It's not up for debate. You're either with me, and if you're not, it's okay. It doesn't mean that we're enemies, but I can't have you sitting at my table. We can be cordial with each other, respectful to one another, because as I mentioned before, some people, their journey may not be yours at that time, but later on in life, that person may, you know, establish themselves, fulfill their dreams, and then y'all may reconnect. But you have to be able to say, I'm standing 10 toes on what it is that I don't value. And if that's what you on right now, then, you know, peace be unto you, and you do you and I'll do me. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make us enemies, but that's not what I'm trying to do right now with my life, you know? And a lot of times I'm going to tell you, when you do that, it helps you to detour. What's the word that I'm looking for? It helps you to it deters you from, you know, things that look like it's going to be an opportunity and it's really not. Because a lot of times, if you're not standing on your value system, an opportunity or what appears to be an opportunity is going to come your way, and all it is a derailment. But if you are not laser sharp on your values, your goals, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, something that'll come your way, it's like a wolf in sheep clothing will come your way, and you won't even see it until it's too late. And the next thing you know, we're like, where did the last 2 years go? Where did the last year go? I didn't accomplish anything that I said I was going to do. So understand that your no's are just as powerful as your yeses. Your no's are just as powerful as your yeses, and your no's need to have a period at the end. I don't need to explain why. This just doesn't align with what I'm trying to do right now. And you have to, again, have that internal GPS to be able to say, this is not aligning with where I'm trying to go. It's a hard road, especially if you're a people, you know, someone who like to please people pleasing. This gets real. You know, people who want people to like them, you know, this is those moments where you're not going to be liked all the time. You're not going to be liked all the time. So I have some comments on here, you know, from Adrienne, which I'm so happy that she has joined us. She said, use your future as a tool to equip your present. That's right. That's right. Use your future as a tool. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do that, you know, it allows you to be able to say, look, the way I'm present life is not aligning with the future that I'm trying to achieve and the future that I'm trying to live. So absolutely right, Adrienne. That is so on point. And you say, yes, you will be a follower instead of a leader. Absolutely. If you don't stand for something, you following whatever. And if you look at social media, what do they call people? Followers. How many followers do I have? I want to be a leader. I want to be someone who can inspire. I want to be that way shower. I want to be, you know, for people, and it's not for braggadocious, you know, purposes or intentions. It's to be able to say, you know what, I live for something. You know, I can sit up here in my last days, my last breath, you know, in my elder years. I don't have to look back with all these regrets and I wish I would have did this. I could have done this. We don't want to have to do that. And one of the best ways to be able to kind of use that, as you mentioned, Adrienne, as a tool, and people say it all the time, and people do it, and I've done it, and I continue to do it, and I did it with my children. Create a vision board or a business plan, whatever it is, you know, business plan for your business or your career, or a vision board for your personal life, or both. Is so important, because when you have those days when you're trying to work towards your goals, you're going to have moments where your mood is telling you, I don't want to do this no more. I'm tired. I don't see where it's happening, right? but it does. It eventually will. It's just like people who work out, when they looking in the mirror, they can't see what everybody's seeing. And next thing you know, you bump into somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, and they're like, girl, you look good. What you've been at the gym? They can tell because that day to day, them squats, those pull-ups, those push-ups, those sit-ups and everything like that, eventually it starts to show. So even though the mood might not be there, if you stay true to what it is, and having that, as we mentioned before, that integrity with your goals and your dreams, that even when the mood has long passed, and the euphoria of that idea of that success that you see in your mind, when that goes away, when you're tested for real with those sacrifices and that goes away, go back to your vision board, revisit your business plan, because believe it or not, you're actually closer to what it is that you're trying to do when you actually revisit and you look. You're like, wow, I actually accomplished this. I started this already. Wow, and you start seeing your own accomplishments. Although you may not be at the finish line yet, you can actually see that you are far from the starting line. You are far from the starting line. So keep your values at the forefront with that vision board and that business plan that you have, and check off, am I on target? Be your internal GPS to be able to determine and hold yourself accountable, and have people around you. Have people around you that's going to uplift you, cheer you, challenge you, and hold you accountable as well to the things that you say you want to do. So that is what I wanted to share this morning on our Wake Up Wednesday. I truly hope that you found benefit in our conversation this morning. Just that reset button, especially midweek. Sometimes we're like, I'm waiting for that weekend to come, and you start feeling a little sluggish. That's what these Wake Up Wednesdays are for, to help you really get back on track. And if you found benefit and you see that this is something that, this was right on time. There's some goals that I've kind of put on the way, kind of to the side, and I haven't been able to fulfill my dreams. This is that reminder. Here's that reset button to say, get back on track. So even if you're a little behind on it, that's all right. Get back on and continue. You're eventually going to get there. And as I mentioned before, you're going to be closer to the finish line than you were from the starting line. So don't give up. Don't fall, avoid the pitfalls that's going to derail you. And that may even look like a smile. With certain people, you have to recognize that, either they're speaking your language, aligning with your values and your non-negotiables, or they're not. And those are people that you have to then start looking for, to surround yourself with people who are doing and wanting good for you as well. So, and I'm one of those people. I'm one of them. So I really appreciate you joining me this morning, and stay tuned, because in 2 weeks, because I come on every other Wednesday. In 2 weeks, we will have another great topic to talk about, that I want to share with each and every one of you, of how you can become your better self, and how I can become my better self as well, because these are all reminders for me as well. So if you're not familiar with the work that I do with Jessica Cares, please visit our website. I am going to put my website here. And this is where you can find us, see the work that we do currently, the work that we haven't done. That work that we're continuously doing, the work that we've done in the past. And I would love for you to join us on our upcoming events that we have, that I post consistently here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media pages. So make today intentional, get back on your goals, and make sure that you are fulfilling your dreams in real time. So I'll be talking to you soon, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a great day, everybody.